Hey everyone, welcome to Grind and Grow, the show where real business owners share the grind behind the growth. No fake stories, no overnight wins, just honest lessons and the hard truths and the methods that actually work. I'm very excited to announce our next guest on the Grind and Grow podcast show. I know it's been a minute, but we are back. We are back with another awesome guest and another awesome interview. So I want to take this moment to welcome Wafika Osman. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you, God?
Good, thanks, and thanks for joining us on the podcast. Wafika, we're obviously going to have a very interesting conversation today. But first, I want to know who is Wafika behind the brand and the business that we'll speak about.
Ooh, Wafika is a mom, firstly, a wife, a daughter, and a cybersecurity specialist.
Amazing. Cybersecurity, a mom. I'm trying to put the two together, but I'm sure it works. So I take it your kids are safe.
Safe, I would like to think so. From the online predators, at least, there's I have a lot of controls in place for them.
So no fishing, no fishing in the Osman household. So
No.
Wafika, we're speaking about you as an individual, a businesswoman based in Cape Town, South Africa, and we're going to speak about your company that you founded, which is called Sober Soldiers. So give us a bit of a background story of Sober Soldiers and what inspired you to start the brand.
So, Sober Soldiers is a take me home service. So, we collect the client in their own vehicle and have a shadow driver drive at the back of the client's vehicle. We drop the client at home, and then the shadow driver takes the driver that took the client home back home as well. And it started back in 2018. And I just felt that there was always a need for women to go out, have a good time, and be safe at the same time and get
Mm-hmm.
home safely. With e hailing in Cape Town and South Africa in general, it's not always the safest mode of transport. And I always partied, you know this. I had a good time a few years ago. Um, and I never drank, but my friends did,
Mm-hmm.
and I was always the sober driver for everyone. My
Yeah.
friends' parents allowed us to drive their vehicle on condition that I would be driving. And then I would get all the girls home safely and then take my own car back home again. So I've been doing this not as a business for a very long
Mm-hmm.
time, but even long before I started this business. And I took that idea and it sat with me for a very long time as to how we can get women to feel safe, go out, have a good time with anyone and everyone, and still get home safely without having to question how am I going to get home.
Perfect. And I think you answered the next two questions I had for you because I wanted to ask you, like, why the name Sober Soldiers, but I kind of got that answer from from your previous phrase.
Yes,
So
I was
obviously, I
always
mean,
the non-alcoholic friend,
you
and
were
the
the sober
soda.
soldier.
Yes, I think it comes with discipline and the willingness to take care of everyone around me. That was naturally my role in the friendship group. So I think I took soldier from there. And it needed to sound cool
Amazing.
as well.
Yeah, yeah, no, it does sound cool. I think it's an awesome name for a business, though. Um, and Wafika, I wanted to ask you, like, did you ever imagine that the platform of the business would grow to this level that it is on now?
I think no, but it is something that I yearn for, not particularly in sober soldiers, but I come from a family of entrepreneurs. You know, growing up, my mom was a single mom. She worked in a very corporate position, but she still always had a side hustle, always, for as long as I can remember. And my
Mm-hmm.
dad was an entrepreneur himself. He started a business, took over Woolworth's printing division, and started a business in the heart of apartheid. And his business lasted for more than 35 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow.
So entrepreneurship runs in my blood. I've
Yeah.
seen business. from a very young age. So it is always something that I strived for and that I yearned for. So yeah, I didn't know what it was gonna be. And I've had lots of other multiple other businesses as well that failed. But this one stuck. But it wasn't easy.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you say that, because my next question is actually like, when you started at the beginning, what was the biggest struggles that you faced when you actually started this endeavor?
The biggest struggle was I literally started this business with nothing. I had a car that I needed to pay off. I had 200 and few money, and I was previously in a similar company that I ran for another guy, and
Hmm.
he exploited me. And
Okay.
so I still tried to stay ethical, and I didn't poach any of his customers. I literally just told a few friends, listen, I'm starting this kind of business. I know you like to party. I know you like to drink. Can I come and feed you? Can I come and feed
Yeah.
you? That was my pitch.
Yeah.
And so the struggles were plenty. But still, as a woman, naturally you get undermined in a position like this or in a business like
Yeah.
this, because my first few customers, some of the males, and in fact till today still, some of the males will ask, have you ever seen a car like this? Can you drive a car like this? And I'm like, my guy, if it has four wheels, I can drive it. Don't you worry. I'm a professional driver.
Amazing. And then, I mean, look, like you said, there were struggles, right? So, I mean, there was obviously lots of challenges that you faced in the beginning. But what, was there ever a moment where you said, no, I don't think I should continue? Was there a moment that you almost like gave up?
All the time, God. Honestly, the first year or two, in fact, in my first year, COVID hit. So I started my business in about September, October, and then I went into the festive season, and it was great, lovely, and I immediately won over some customers, and they were happy with the service, and it was booming.
Hmm.
And still within my first 6 months, I was like, "Phew, like this can actually be something, right?" And then COVID-19 hit, game changer for everyone and everything.
Yeah.
As a result, I had to pivot my business very quickly because I also just finished maternity leave, and I didn't want to go back to my job. And I'm like, what do I do now? I don't have money.
Yeah.
COVID is COVIDing outside, and people need things. And what are we gonna
Yeah.
do about it? So I turned my business into an errand kind of service. So the older folk in my area needed things from the shops. People needed to get things from the pharmacy. I was
Mm.
healthy and able and willing to go out and do everything for everyone. So I took lists from everybody, and I did that for the entire duration of level 5 lockdown to
Oh, wow.
sustain the business
Yeah.
and to make sure that my child has nappies and milk, basically.
Yeah. That's amazing. I mean, you know it's so easy to say, what, this thing hit. No, there's no way for us. We're gonna give up, and we're gonna close shop, and but it's really amazing how you stayed fast in terms of, how you pivoted, like you mentioned. I think that's very interesting, an important fact, because I think us as people, we, the human nature of, if it's tough, the tough gets going, it's very easy to give up, but it's not,
Yeah,
it's harder to go on, and like you say, pivot, and find a way, right? But I think us,
correct.
as South Africans, I want to bring the South African context in here, because I think it's very important, obviously, knowing about other cultures and regions and stuff. I think there's no other nation that can survive as good as South Africans, and this is what I know. Like, I have first-hand
Correct.
experience,
We are
and
resilient.
yeah, very resilient. But I mean, speaking about resilience, because you mentioned a woman in business, right? A woman entrepreneur. What challenges do you face or have faced that people don't often speak about?
Um, Again, just being undermined for your abilities. Sometimes it's on the basis of your skin color. Sometimes it's on the basis of you being a woman.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's both, and so many more things. But the reality is that our resilience outshines all of that. And entrepreneurs naturally bridge gaps. That's what the real definition of an entrepreneur is. They bridge gaps, they find problems, and they solve it in real time.
yeah,
So when people see that and you prove your worth and your ability and you create that trust that you need for any business or any relationship that you have, you really have a winning combination. And that's really all it is. Irrespective if you're a woman, black, white, color, doesn't matter. But building that trust and that relationship with people is very important because that's really where
100%.
your success lies.
Good answer. Good answer. And then tell me, I mean, like you mentioned now, the linking between networking and having relationships with people, I mean, obviously very important because this is how you grow a business. But what has been the proudest business moment, would you say, in your view?
So just recently this year, in April, I won an award called the Women of Wonder Awards by Panache International.
Amazing, then
And I was
congratulations.
not even, thank you so much. I was not even expecting that because as an entrepreneurs, you don't, or small business rather, you don't expect any recognition. You don't even
Mhm.
realize the type of impact that you're creating. But there are people watching you all the time. So when they emailed me to say, congratulations, you are the recipient of an award, I was like, are you sure you have the right Wafika Osman? And I was so shocked because it really humbles me to think that people are watching me and people think that I am impactful. For me, it's
Yeah,
just normal. I must do this. This is what I do.
yeah,
But other people find it impactful. Communities find it impactful, and people feel safer that I'm taking them home safely.
yeah. That's a great, it's a great way to achieve, because you're not only, bringing value to yourself as a business and being sustainable or trying to sustain yourself, but you're also bringing value to others, which is amazing. Because I mean, it's a value purpose driven business at the end of the day, right? Which is amazing. But speaking of which, Wafika, you said now, I mean, you have people's lives in your hands, right?
Yes.
So, so how important is discipline and consistency in running a brand like yours?
Discipline is extremely important because number one, some most weekends, whether it's summer or winter, most people are out at the braai or at a restaurant or at a club, wherever the case is. And even me, I go out with my family. We try and have a good time. But come 9 o'clock, sorry guys, I need to leave now. I need to go and work. And people
Yeah,
are like, what? The party's just starting, the braai. We didn't even eat it. I was like, you know what? I need to go and work. And things like that, people don't understand it. They might think you're crazy. They might think, nah, sy will net week and do all of
mm,
these things. But the
yeah,
reality is that without that discipline and without that, the multiple sacrifices that comes with it, it's actually a big part of the success of this business. Because if a customer says 10 o'clock, I want to be picked up, you need to be there by
mm,
10 to 10 already.
yeah,
So it really does take a lot of planning and all of that behind just, picking up the customer. It's not just something that comes easily and
yeah,
naturally. And some people want to be picked up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And you must get out of your hotbed and go and pick somebody up. That's the reality of our business and the nature of our business. But we have made a commitment. to that customer
Yeah.
to get them home safely. So we need to stick to that.
And I like the way you said like 4 o'clock in the morning. Jy wil gedoen wees hoor. So how do you balance this business? So you got your business. How do you balance the business and the personal life and the mental wellness of it all?
It's not easy, not at all, because I need to make family time and be present for my boys. I've got a 7 year
Mm-hmm.
old and a 4 year old, and then also be present for my husband to be a good wife as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, be I work hand in hand with my team, and I go and pick up some people myself. So
Yeah.
sometimes I need to get out of bed at 3:30 for my 4 o'clock pickup. It is a very big balancing act, but it comes down to planning, lots of planning, and lots of discipline, and the ability to at least try and make everyone happy, but also make myself happy in terms of my mental wellness. I
Mm-hmm.
do take a lot of time out for myself, sometimes in the week when it's quiet. I just, take myself out for a coffee date or whatever the case is, and just to reset and recalibrate, because I think that's really important in a
Yeah.
industry like this.
Yeah. And who inspired you or mentored you along this journey?
So I don't have a particular mentor, but I do have multiple people who guided me along the way. And like I said, I come from a long line of entrepreneurs, and what felt like scaling or advice from the elders a few
Yeah.
years ago actually had a lot of wisdom in it, and just basic things on how to run your business and customer service, or treating people well, or just having that conversation with people, or the ability to speak to people, storytelling, and because that's how you connect, that's how people trust you. And I've learned that over the years from multiple people, and it has helped me so much along the way, because now I have the ability to literally speak to anyone, whether you're the CEO or the street sweeper, Maki Saki, we're gonna have a liquor conversation.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. And tell me, in terms of a woman in business, what does leadership mean to you as a woman in business? Because I mean, it's tough, right? I mean, we spoke about it before, but what does leadership as a woman in business mean to you?
Leadership as a woman, I would say, it's a lot of responsibility, a lot of what can I say? Like a lot of responsibility, and also you have a lot of people counting on you. You have multiple hats to wear every day,
Mm-hmm.
all the time. You have people watching you, whether you know it or not. You have little people, my kids,
Yeah.
watching you as well. And you'll be surprised how they actually take note of what you do and what you say and what your potential next move is. So always be kind, always be mindful of others and those around you, and always
Mm-hmm.
try to help the next person, because that's really what leadership is. You can be the best business person or have the most successful business, but if you're not a liquor person, it's not
Mm-hmm.
going to be great. It's not
Yeah.
going to be great. So always try and be kind, always help people, and make sure that whoever is watching you, whether you know it or not, has something to learn from. Or yes, yeah. Or there's
Yeah.
always something to learn from somebody else, and you can teach somebody something else as well.
And on top of that, Wafika, because it's probably something that you were probably going to say anyway, I was going to ask you like, what advice would you give to young women who are, very, I would say, hesitant or afraid to start their own businesses?
I would say start. You don't have to have the biggest investment amount. I started this business with 200 Rand and a car that I needed to pay. Start with what you have and just start. With one
Mm,
customer or zero customers, the faith that you had to start that business is the same faith you're going to need to get a customer. So start
yeah.
anyway. People will talk. People will say what they want to. Hi, did you see this one is starting selling chocolates now till end of the month or
Mm,
whatever. It doesn't matter. It's yours. No one's gonna give you a 200 Rand at the end of the month. Nobody. So
yeah.
start anyway, and progressively it will get better. But you need to stay consistent.
Yeah.
Don't just think that you made
Consistency
it
is key.
200 Rand this month. Yes. Don't just think you made it 200 Rand this month. You set for life. You're not. You need to stay consistent. You need to do it over and over until you are at a comfortable position to say, now I can hand this over to someone else or even get a staff member, whatever the case is. But just start with whatever you have, irrespective of the circumstances. Life is hard for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone has challenges. It's how you handle those challenges that sets you apart. It's really that simple.
100%. Wise words of wisdom from Wafika Osman, our esteemed guest today on Grind and Grow. And if you're tuning for the first time, I mean, we speak about how we can share tips, we can share motivation, we can share stories for anyone who would want to make the loop, not the loop, or the leap to open up their own businesses. And like you said, we have to start, right? We have to start somewhere, Wafika. It starts at the beginning.
Correct.
And I think a lot of people are very hesitant because I what I've noticed is of people that didn't start yet, right? They try to build the full end-to-end picture model of what they see, and they take years of doing it, and when you look again, they're still trying to perfect something where they could have been started like 5 years ago, and they've
Correct.
missed out, of 5 years. So I mean, if we think about it, right, lots of platforms and things, they didn't start with all the features that they have today, right? Facebook in
100%.
2008 didn't have a like button or a love button, or that
Yes.
came afterwards. So, and the same thing with business is like we will get there, but we have to start, we have to build the foundation. And like you said, if it's a 200 Rand with one customer, the one customer is going to turn into two customers, and so life will go on, and it grows. So great advice there, Wafika. I just want to speak about the branding, and obviously marketing, very important in business, right? um and marketing is obviously an expensive thing.
It
Hopefully now,
is.
with all our tools and technology that we have in today's world, that shouldn't be. But how important is social media being in your brand and building your brand?
Garth, I'm going to be honest with you. Social media has not been the biggest part of my business. Like
No,
I said, when I
no.
started this business, I sent out a few messages on WhatsApp, right? So when I think of social media, I'm thinking Facebook and Instagram and perhaps TikTok. I
Mm-hmm.
don't use TikTok at all. As a cybersecurity professional, that's a no go for me.
Yeah.
But for my business, I only have a Facebook page, and that was for when you set up a business, you want to have some sort of social media other than what you started with, and I only
Yeah.
started the Facebook one. But my business grew purely by word of mouth, and with that came a currently I did a report last week. I have a 90% retention rate as a result.
Okay.
In my business, and this is not for everyone's business. If you have a product based business or a service based business, it might be different for you. But the
Mm-hmm.
reality was for me that people want to see what the service is like, and they tell a friend, and that friend tells another five friends, and that is how my business grew. Again, it came
Okay.
down to trust. My customers trust me and my brand and my business and all my stuff that comes with it. But I really didn't use social media as the biggest tool in my business.
Yeah.
But that would be different for every other business.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And and Wafika, like I wanna go but deep now. Right? We're gonna
Okay.
go not very deep, don't worry. We're not gonna get hopefully we're not gonna get emotional now.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I wanna know, right? Because I mean through with every successful business or with every with every element that we have in life, we wanna leave a legacy, right?
Yes.
So I mean, what would we want people to remember you? So what legacy do you want to leave behind one day?
The legacy that I want to leave behind is for my boys to know that you can do anything that you put your mind to. They must know and understand that their mommy went to go and study full time at the age of 29
Mm-hmm.
and finished a degree in cybersecurity, and also started a business during my second birth. My kid was 2 weeks old. My 4 year old, it was 2 weeks old when I started studying full time, and I pushed through full
Yeah,
time studies with a newborn baby, basically.
yeah,
So the legacy that I want to leave is perseverance, resilience, and taking it on the chin and pushing through. Because if you work hard enough at it, you can do it.
yeah,
That's
definitely.
really the legacy that I want to leave for my boys, whether it's Sober Soldiers or any other business that I touch. I want them to know that they can do it if they put in the work.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a very important point. Put in the work. Unless you have a very rich daddy and mommy that left you a lot of money and you didn't have to put in so much work, but still, you have to put in the work. Have to put in the
Correct.
work, 100%. And like if you could speak to your younger self, right? So you said you studied at 29, you had a newborn, but if you could speak to your younger self today, what would you say to her?
I would say, girl, you're in for a crazy but fun ride. Because that's what
And
it's
you
been.
and you wouldn't change anything? You wouldn't go a different
Not at
route?
all.
Yeah?
Everything that I have done, whether it was in my previous life or now, I would not change for the world, because everything you learn as you grow older, you learn and you realize that I needed to be that crazy Tati Wafika 10, 15 years ago to get to where I was now, because it's literally the stepping stones of my journey.
Yeah.
And the learnings that I got along the way are priceless, and I wouldn't change it at all.
Yeah. Live with no regrets, they say. I like that. I like that.
100% no regrets.
100%. And I wanna speak about your impact because I mean you come from a community, like you said, there was always people. You needed people to support you. You needed people to help you,
100%.
to guide you. What impact do you hope that sober soldiers will have on the community?
The impact that I want to leave through Sober Soldiers is the ability for women and men to always have a safe space and to get home safely. Cape Townians love partying, and that
Hmm.
won't stop anytime soon. So the impact that I want to leave is that to know that I got people back home safely to their families, to whether it's celebrate further or just have a good time again at another point. But that's really
Yeah.
so important to me, because all of my friends always tell me like, you was like, didn't even know how we got home. I said, don't worry, I got you. We're gonna get you
Mm.
home safely, and that means so much to me.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
they drink or not doesn't matter. But getting people home back to their families and loved ones, it's a flex that not everybody can
Yeah.
flex. People don't make it home to their
Mm.
back to their loved ones. And sometimes it's not even any fault of their own. Maybe another
Yeah.
drunk driver, as an example. So to get back home safely, even from the corner shop, is a flex.
Yeah.
And for me to be able to provide that service, um, and that just having that relationship with each and every one of my customers means so much to me. So that
Got
is
you.
definitely what I want to leave when, through Sober Soldiers.
Nice. Nice. And Africa, just before we go on, something just came to mind. Just with the change in generation, right? There's a new generation. Do you feel, or do you notice, or do you see, like, in your day to day, is there less responsibility that comes with, this new generation? Or, are people less responsible? Like, I'm talking about, like, clubbing scenes. I mean, you obviously,
Hmm.
clubbing scenes and bars and restaurants. Do you see, more recklessness in terms of, looking after
I,
their own safety? Or what would you say?
to an extent, yes, but also, like, things have changed. 10, 15 years ago, clubs were the bomb.
Yeah.
Now, the new generation go for dinner and then they go home again. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that clubbing is no longer a big thing, but it's not like it was 10, 15 years ago. It's really
Yeah.
different. And in fact,
Mm.
the demographic and the age group in my business spans from like 35
Okay.
to all the way to 70. The younger
Yeah.
generation, if they do have a drink, they okay to Uber.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the reality is that, they don't know if they're going to get home safely or whatever the case is. And I really hope that they do, whether they use my service or not. I
Yeah.
honestly pray that everyone makes it home safely.
Yeah.
But
100%.
I have seen the shift in from what I remember, who clubbed 7 days a week from time to time. It's very different now from
Yeah.
what it was a few years ago. So I have seen a change in the generation as to even, I mean, I have a stepson who's 19 years old. His idea
Hmm.
of going out for the night is maybe going to Stones to until like 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock maybe, and then he's at home again. I'm like, what do
That's the
you mean?
time
I
when
left at
the night
11
started.
o'clock.
What is wrong with these people today? No, but yeah, yeah. I mean, I
It's very
asked the question
different.
because, yeah, I mean, look, we see a lot of things happening, and we see on social media, accidents and, freaks, accidents happen and things, So I was just thinking, like, all in terms of awareness, I mean, I would think that, you guys will try to, from an awareness perspective, like try to educate, kids of
We
today,
are.
not kids, but generational, you know generational components of today. Like, are we educated? Because, I mean, like, I mean, let's face it, we have so much access, and access
Yes.
to information is like instantly today, right? We don't have to go search very far.
At the library
um yeah.
for
The library,
information.
we don't bring the book back. We get the
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. So, I mean, like, in terms of awareness, like, do you guys do things in that sense?
We do. So I do on my Facebook page. I create a bit of awareness, and I from time to time I collaborate with multiple different communities on road safety as well as
Hmm.
just being aware of your surroundings, especially as a woman.
Yeah.
So in my business, yes, you are a driver, but you're not only just a driver; you're actually a professional driver and you go and learn for multiple days on how to handle any type of vehicle. and we go
Yeah.
and train at Killarney, and you
Oh
get
wow.
certified as a defensive and advanced driver. So just through that, my staff is already so much more aware of their surroundings and can get customers also out of a pickle if they need to.
Yeah.
So in that way, I create awareness, not only my staff, but our clients as well. I will tell my clients, maybe you should put your phone down if we're driving, through Kalicha as an example.
Mm. Yeah.
Or, little things like that that people take for granted.
Yeah.
So I do try and create that impact and as well as awareness around safety within a vehicle. And even for my kids, I literally tell them all the time, boys, look at where you are. If anything should
Yeah.
happen to mommy now, you need to be able to tell someone where we are, what we are doing, what the closest landmarks, anything like that. So it really starts with me as a parent, firstly, but also as a business person to let everyone know about the realities of safety, and that's what I try and get across to as many people as possible. And I work in cybersecurity. Safety is what I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's safety by nature, by
Yeah.
design. Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's amazing. Okay, so Wafika, we're gonna come to a segment now in the interview. We call it the rapid fire questions, right? No thinking.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you
Okay.
5 questions. You don't have any time to think about it. You just need to wrap up the
Okay.
answer very quickly. I'm gonna give you an option. You just give me the answer, right? So here we go.
All right.
First question: coffee or tea?
Tea. I
Tea.
don't drink
Okay.
coffee at all.
I mean, you're an IT professional. Like, what IT
I
professional
know
doesn't
I'm an
drink coffee?
unconventional IT person. I don't drink coffee or Red Bull or anything like that, but I do like a good cup of rooibos tea or green tea.
Okay. Nice to know. Okay. One word that describes you.
Resilient.
Biggest motivation.
My kids.
Dream collaboration.
Collaboration. Ready tea. And the
Okay, we had him.
SR
Okay,
for a
we had
group.
him. We had him on the show the other day. He was one of our first interviews. I
Is
will tell
it
him. Let's talk about it. One business tool or app you can't live without.
WhatsApp? I run my entire business on WhatsApp.
Okay. What's something people would be surprised to learn about you? You drink tea.
I love cooking and baking. I love cooking and
Okay.
baking.
Amazing. I like people who cook and bake. I like to eat. Early bird or night owl? I know this
Night
answer.
owl. Night owl.
Favorite quote or life motto?
Blessed are those who are of service to others.
Amazing. Closing questions, right? So I like that last one. Blessed are those who are from I mean, your business is based on that phrase, on that quote, right? So what's next for Wafika and Sober Soldiers?
So I would like to scale my business. We have been very successful in the Western Cape, throughout the Western Cape. Sometimes I drive from Cape Town to Worcester to fetch people, that kind of
Oh wow.
distances. Um, but I'd like to scale that and, perhaps start up in a new province. There are lots of other services like mine. The
Hmm.
differentiator, though, is that for most of the other companies, you have to book 2, 3 days in advance. People don't plan to drink. They just go out and stop at a bar or a restaurant and
Yeah,
have a glass of wine. And with the current laws, one glass of wine or one beer is over the limit.
yeah,
So if they find themselves at a party or even just at a braai and they can't get home, they don't have 2 days to wait for a booking or whatever the case is. So I
yeah.
come in and I'm flexible like that. And so I'd like to scale that perhaps into the Eastern Cape first.
Hmm.
Gauteng is a bit of a big one or a big ask because Gauteng is so huge.
Hmm.
I often go to Gauteng and it's just massive. And like one freeway can take you to the other side of the province,
Yeah.
in
Or
about
one
two
ton
hours
of
drive or
mist.
whatever the case.
What is
Yes,
the problem?
you have a problem. Not like you're in Cape Town where you can drive for 5 minutes and take the next off ramp.
Yeah.
So I'd really like to scale out to perhaps Eastern Cape first and
Mm-hmm.
then to Gauteng and KwaZulu Natal, and eventually cover the entire country, but baby steps. I've been
Yeah.
running this business now for 7 years or so, and I've taken everything baby step by baby step. I'm not in a rush. I'm doing
Yeah.
it very organically and very Wafika style authentically. So I'm taking it one day at a time. There's no rush for
Mm.
anything, and I'd much rather have the best drivers as well as the best relationships with my clients. And even if I have to stay in the Western Cape, we're gonna do it proper, not
Yeah.
half as anything.
Nice. And tell me, Wafika, where can we follow you and support and follow your journey? Is there any information you can give us so we can post on our feeds?
Yes, so it's on Facebook, Sober Soldiers, and then I post my own business's information on Wafika Osman on Facebook and Wafsicle on Instagram. There's a lot of information there, and just send me a WhatsApp. That's really how all of my clients also get to me. Send me a WhatsApp, and I will respond to you. I make the time to respond to everybody. And it's not, you're not chatting to a bot, you're not chatting to anybody else but the owner, and that's the level of service you can expect every time.
Perfect. That's amazing. Wafika, thanks so much for your time, and it's been interesting, and it's been an eye opener in some cases of how we don't need social media. I think I took that learning out today. Very interesting because I know we all social media mull today. We find that that's like the easiest way to get word out there. But that's your story is so amazing, and the resilience that you have, and the business model is amazing. So well done and congratulations. And I think we hope all the best for you, and we pray that you strive in more provinces going future. We'll see you in Joburg one of these days.
Yes, thank you so much.
But thanks for taking the time and accepting our invitation to speak to you. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for the opportunity. I really had such a lekker time and so lekker catching up with you as well.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. So for those that don't know Wafika, we probably met more than 10 years ago. Yeah, in the club,
2010, I
in the
think.
club where there was silver soldiers.
2010, yeah. 2010, 2011 side.
Oh man, time flies. But it's been amazing chatting to you. Please do not be a stranger. For you guys that just that just tuned in to us or followed us for the first time, we have a website as well called Grind and Grow. So it's Grind and Grow. We have a community of small business owners and aspiring business owners. So you can grab a profile and sign up there, and there's a few small business startup tips there for you as well. There's an idea panel where we actually put forward business application ideas as well, and you can connect with
Right.
other like-minded individuals and entrepreneurs just like yourself. So thank you so much. Please do follow us on TikTok and Facebook and all the socials, and on YouTube as well, and we'll post our podcast episodes on there as well. Wafika, thanks so much for joining us. And again, thank you for being a guest. And we do hope that we follow up this conversation. And the next time we speak, then you'll be in all 9 provinces in South Africa, inshallah. All right?
Inshallah. Thanks so much.
Thank- Thanks, Wafika. A pleasure talking to you.
Take care.